Just a Kiss, Chapter 17. A Miraculous Ladybug Fanfiction written and narrated by Mira Rose. If you have not heard the previous 16 chapters, you can find a link to those in the description box below. As long as you're here, don't forget to smash that like button and leave a comment for the YouTube algorithm. If you don't know what to comment, put High School Musical. Now then, please enjoy Just a Kiss, Chapter 17. Nathaniel Kurtzberg. Nathaniel stared at his bedroom ceiling, feelings circulating as he thought about his day. It was too much. The tingles he felt as he sat so closely to her on that couch, the whiff of her perfume as he leaned in close to talk, the selfie he took of the two of them curled up together to present the phone case. It was too much. The distance between them was too much. He curled onto his side, blankets twisted around his ankles. He liked her. But did he like himself? Did he have any right to keep liking her after this long, considering everything he's done? To her? To himself? To his dreams? At this point, was it even a good idea to move not just countries, but to another continent across the world together? Oh, angst. He'd beat himself up in a circle thinking about it, but it's not something he could ignore. Rather, if he ignores it, he'll regret it. Well, the best way to deal with this would be to talk to the woman in question herself, wouldn't it? Pulling on his coat, Nathaniel shuffled out of the apartment, his feet getting harder and harder to pick up the closer he got to the bourgeois hotel. Some days returning was all too natural, but on days like this, where his feelings flamed so intensely they could match his hair, he found the walk to be a drudge of dread, knowing her slight quips and constant confirmation that their relation was pretty much only work-related would be an assault on his heart, leaving wounds that a cup nor pot of tea could heal. But, of course, he picked up sushi first. Her favorite sushi bar started using pink soy paper instead of nori sheets to celebrate the upcoming Valentine's Day, and he knew she hadn't gotten around to ordering any yet. She'd enjoy it, wouldn't she? If he meant to have a difficult conversation with her, it'd be best to make sure her stomach wasn't empty. "Hello, Queen," he said, hating himself immediately as Chloe's face twisted into a scowl. She'd opened the door with a face mask on, most likely just arisen from a post-shoot nap. "What do you want?" She crossed her arms, and he held up the to-go bag, not opaque enough for her to see what's inside. "Food?" "Better be sushi." As if I'd ever betray you. She let him in, and he saw himself to the couch as she excused herself to wash off her face mask. Well, he should be pleased she let him see her in such a state in the first place, as she'd never be caught dead in front of anyone in her current state. Part of him wished she'd at least want to get a little cute. These toxic thoughts did him no good. "So, sushi? What cause do we have for celebration? Did you secure an apartment or something?" Chloe walked in and took a seat on the armchair corner next to him. Oof. She really doesn't pull punches, even if she doesn't realize there's a brawl. "I've been doing some thinking, actually." "Actually?" She scoffed. "Please, you're the most calculating person I know." "Besides you?" She kicked his knee. "You think so far into the future, it almost insults God herself." "It comes from all those webtoons I used to make." "I remember. Those were good." His hands froze over the to-go bag as he went to open it. "You read them?" "Of course I did. You based a character off of me, after all." Now, if he'd already eaten, he would have thrown up. If it was the webtoon with her in it, then it was also the self-insert where he made the hero Ginger, and although he meant to kill off the villainess, ended up pairing them together long after he and Chloe started working together. Well, he knew she'd seen it. He didn't think she'd ever read it. Then again, his past self didn't think Chloe Bourgeois was capable of reading anything unless it had Cliff Notes version or a brand name in it. So, how this cunning woman proved him wrong. But that wasn't what he was worried about right now. The whole thing? He questioned. What? Are you worried I'd misinterpret Duke Kurtz and Empress Honeycomb's union? She smirked. And even though he knew it was a tease and not an insult, all of a sudden, Nathaniel was 14 again and sitting in front of the girl who isolated him from the rest of the class. I'm not going to New York, he blurted out, defying the calculating title she'd bestowed on him a minute before. You aren't? Her only response was an arched eyebrow, not even bothering to break eye contact. He had to look away first under her gaze. All things considered, this is a good time for a clean break. I've got to go my own way. He expected her to slap him or for her to get angry and toss the food he brought at him, but she didn't. Chloe didn't yell or cry or berate him. No. Instead, she pressed a hand to her lips, squinting. Wait, was Chloe about to cry? Over him? His heart shouldn't be elated at all, but he couldn't be more wrong. No, instead of crying, Chloe burst into a heap of laughter, so unexpected that he couldn't take in the beauty of it. Oh, Nathaniel Daniel! Chloe gasped, choking for air. Did you just High School Musical me? High School Musical you? Nothing about her words and actions made sense. Oh, honeycombs! She took a break from her laughter to wipe a tear and refresh herself with a sigh. Have you not seen it? The Disney show? I could not watch it, considering Max would always try to get under my skin whenever a new movie came out by calling me Sharpay. I'm not following. So, not only is this like the adult parallel of a plot point, you literally quoted the name of a song in it to me. I did? It'd be easier just to show you. Scoot over. Scoot over? Nathaniel didn't have enough time to respond before Chloe all but pushed him over with her hips, grabbing the remote off the coffee table and turning the TV on. English with subtitles or the French dub? She asked. They were watching it? Together? English? He hoped it was the right answer. Good, because Ashley Tisdale is my queen. Ashley who? You'll see. She kind of reminds me of Empress Honeycomb at times. She winked, and suddenly Nathaniel decided the room was too warm for his tastes. While eating together and watching a movie was confusing enough to Nathaniel's heart, especially while sitting without a response to his "let's not move across the world" suggestion, he found himself completely unable to concentrate when she swung her legs onto his lap. Perhaps it was payback, because it was an almost exact copy of how he staged her around him today at the photo shoot. So, how did that relate? Nathaniel asked, trying to sound casual as the credits rolled. You know, like they were friends and there was nothing strange about their physical positions. Oh, that's in the second movie. The second movie? I'm gonna order dessert while we watch. Any suggestions? She asked, pulling out her phone. If you don't choose, I'm going to order you a ketchup sandwich. Nathaniel snapped his jaw shut and looked away, his body screaming at him to adjust the now sore position he'd held for over an hour, but his brain refusing it. Because I'm a tomato head? Yes, she laughed, because you're a tomato head. Still as confused as ever, Nathaniel spent the rest of the evening watching American movies as Chloe laughed, imitated, and karaoke'd along, refreshed despite his heart's kerfuffle. It was nice to see her like this. He had no right to see her like this, considering how this started with him extorting her. But even so, he did. Confused, guilty, but enjoying himself, Nathaniel allowed himself to relax into the moment with his first love, deciding he could deal with breaking his own heart tomorrow instead. Yeah. Tomorrow he'd put an end to all of this, but tonight he'd make a last memory to keep him going. This would be a good layer to save on. Thank you so much for listening. Chapter 18 is on the way. I hope you enjoyed this part, and if you are still listening, comment Sharpay. I will catch you in the next one. Bye! Don't forget to smash the like button.